What is Git? Git is a free open source distributed version control system. Now to know about distributed version control system, you can just watch out the previous video that I have made on this particular topic for better understanding. So Git maintains a history of all changes made to the code. It stores all the modifications to the repository. So you can imagine it as a storehouse where it contains a different version of project. Now how can Git be able to store all these huge changes? All this data is stored in .git directory. When you run git init command, Git will create this directory, and whenever you need a backup, you can simply copy this single directory where you have all your data. Now what is git init command, what it does, we will be covering all this part soon in this video. So make sure to watch the complete video. Alright, so for now just remember that all of your data is stored in this .git directory, and the way that Git uses to store that data is known as content addressable storage. In short, with this type of storage, you can fetch back the data based on the content and not by its location. Linus Torvalds developed Git in the year 2005 and is also known as father of the Linux operating system. Well, let's know about its features. It is used for tracking changes in the code. Allows multiple developers to work together on the same project. Supports non-linear development. Due to this, users from all over the world can perform operations remotely on the project. It creates backups. Compatible with all the operating systems. Now the next feature is lightweight. If there are 1,000 people working on the same project, then the data in the central repository will be huge. But that doesn't mean your local repository will get filled with this data. Git knows this, so it first compresses the data and then store it on a local repository. By this, the data gets fitted in less space, and whenever you need that data, Git uses reverse technique. By this, we can save a lot of memory. All the heavy tasks are performed on the client side, so you don't require costly machines on the server side. The next feature is it is secure. It uses a cryptographic algorithm that helps to store all commit done by each one of the members who is working on a project. So it becomes easy to find out fault in the code which is causing an error. Working directory. Working directory consists of files that you are working on. At this moment, Git has no control over the files. You can say that they are untracked. When you have completed the task of modifying the code, you can then add this file to the next area, which is the staging area. Then comes the staging area, also known as temporary location. This is the area where files are held on for temporary basis before committing it to the local repository. Now once you are confident about your work, you can then commit it to the local repository. Local repository. This local repository is actually present on our computer. The committed changes will be inside this local repository until it has not pushed to the remote repository. The remote repository is usually a server located miles away. So with the help of this git add, you add the file to the staging area. After that, you commit the file to the local repository with the help of git commit. And then finally you can choose to push it to a server, which is nothing but your remote repository. And similarly, if you want to get latest modifications of the project from remote repository to the local repository, you can just use git pull command. So let's see this syntax of basic commands. With the help of git init, you can actually create a repository. As I have previously said, for a repository you can imagine a container or a storehouse where you can store different versions of files. Further, these repositories are divided into two categories, bare and non-bare. In bare, user can modify or create a new version of this repository. But in non-bare, users are allowed to modify or create a new version of the repository. With git add, you can add the file to the staging area and you can specify your file name right after git add. With git commit, you can save your changes to a local repository. Here this M stands for the message. You can add a short description about the changes you have made in the code, especially if you are working under a team. With git push, you can upload local repository content to the remote repository. In short, you can finally move the changes which you have made to the file to a server. So you can imagine the remote repository as a common repository where all the team members could exchange their changes. Alright, these were the basic commands and the basic part of Git which you should know at the beginning. Then there are other commands too, like git checkout, git fetch, git merge, but we will see these things in upcoming videos. Till the time, you can check the questions that are mostly asked on this basic part. For the solutions, you can refer to the same video, as I have tried to keep this video as simple as I can, so anyone who does not belong to programming background can understand it too. Besides, you can watch out the complete video if you by chance miss out some part of it. Alright, thank you so much for watching and hope to see you in the next video. Bye.